Hey, thank you very much for your patience and for joining us. We are revisiting the Mania of Wrestlemania Rewatch podcast. I'm Carlos.
And I'm Maria. Carlos and I are going to break down WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania's 25th anniversary, and I'm going to give my thoughts and reactions and opinions as a new fan to sports entertainment.
And I'm going to be rewatching WrestleMania 25 and trying to remember the bumps and the storylines, but also see if there's any of these matches that still hold up to us now, 15 years later.
Ooh.
We'll make our recommendations, her as a new mark in training, and me as, I guess, the seasoned veteran. And if we're ready,
You are seasoned.
we'll get into it. All right. So this WrestleMania 25 is live. Well, it's coming from Houston, Texas,
Mhm.
and the new football stadium they built at the time for the new franchise, the Houston, Texas, out of Reliance Stadium.
Right, but as you Houstonians know it now as the NRG Stadium.
That's correct. Thank you for adding that tidbit there. So we start off here with the national anthem being sang here by a well-known celebrity. You may have known her. Some people know her as Nicole Scherzinger, but I
Oh.
know her as Jessica Glitter
Why do you know her as Jessica
because I
Glitter?
am a fan of How I Met Your Mother, and that's how she's introduced to us in the show.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're moving on into bigger and grander stages.
Ooh.
Just to give you an insight as far as how big the stadium was.
How
Or
big was it?
It was pretty big because look at that shot,
Wow, that's huge.
right? And that's a dome. I don't remember if it's retractable, the roof or
Mhm.
not, but yeah.
Can we also say rest in peace to the ECW because Extreme Championship Wrestling, this was the last WrestleMania to feature that brand.
Well, they say that it's the last time to feature the brand, but they have no championship match like they did in WrestleMania 24, where
Right.
Kane decidedly just squashes Chavo Guerrero.
Hmm.
And so there's like ECW people wrestling, but there's no mention at all of, from what I can remember. We just watched this like a little bit ago, but I'm
Right.
saying I don't remember them mention ECW that many
You don't
times.
recall.
No. So
So, like you said, this is April 5th, 2009. Attendance for this WrestleMania is over 72,000.
mhm.
They clock in at 72,744 patrons.
Nice.
We call them patrons, participants, ticket holders,
Attendees.
attendees. That's the word.
Okay. Okay. So we have the first match here, which is a Money in the Bank ladder match. We're back to starting the pay-per-views with a ladder match. This goes for 14 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
This match features Kane,
Hmm.
Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP.
Yeah.
I still didn't say that right.
Mm,
CM Punk,
it's a mouthful.
Christian, Fit Finley,
Hmm.
Shelton Benjamin,
A fave.
and making his WrestleMania debut,
Ooh, who is
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi?
So, Maria, this is
Did we mention that this is the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania?
mm-hmm.
And did we talk about the tagline?
The tagline was the tagline.
It's the same. The 20 It's also the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. So before this first match, we see some amazing pyro. So Vince is like the guy from Jurassic Park. He spared no expense for the pyro. Did you like it? Did you love it?
I love that line when I said it when we're watching this pay-per-view.
What? I don't recall. Okay, so like you were saying, we see Kofi. This is his debut.
Right.
Money in the Bank ladder match. This match goes for 14 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yes.
Were you excited to see this kickoff with another ladder match?
I was excited to see the kickoff with this WrestleMania pay-per-view.
Okay.
Mainly because we saw how it is without the ladder, the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like it was like not very exciting. And now we have something that at least will get the people into it. There's a lot of wrestlers here on that in this match that I'm sure were crowd favorites.
Right. Well,
Kofi.
who are your favorites? I'm kind of curious.
Well, at the time, it probably looking at this roster, it would have been Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And now looking back at it here, I'm still a fan of Christian, but I'm also a fan of Kofi and how his career's progressed over the past 15, 16 years that he's been here with the company. And of course, Shelton Benjamin. But other than that, that's about it.
So, if you're wondering,
Mm-hmm.
fans, friends, Carlos,
Yes.
husband, so my favorites, CM Punk, Fit Finley, Kofi. I'm surprised you didn't mention Kane.
I'm not a fan of Kane.
I know, I just had to say that. Mark Henry, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. So I had quite a few.
Yeah, it sounds like you had the majority of the roster or the people in this match.
I was excited to see it. I enjoy a ladder match, and this match for me was a lot of fun. And just off the bat was definitely a recommended match for me.
Right. Let's go over some of the spots here now. Okay. We had Kofi Kingston, who brings a little bit more energy as he's a little bit more agile and faster than everybody.
Yes,
he had his boom drop. I believe this is what this move's called, where he's doing this on Christian and Shelton Benjamin.
Boom, there it is.
I'm not sure he does that, but it's good try. We also have him before that spot where he was doing that. We had him do like a drop kick onto ladder. They also do this one thing where I couldn't find a picture of it, where they try to clothesline him with the ladder and he jumps over it.
That's impressive.
So that was pretty cool. We had Hornswoggle getting into the mix, and then we had this little tadpole splash, right?
Is that what it was called?
That's what they called it in it, and I'm assuming like during the pay-per-view, I would assuming that's what we would call it there.
That's a really good spot.
We had dueling suicide dives here by Kofi and CM Punk.
Also another one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, so it was a very fun match filled with like good spots that we have seen. They have added more kind of versatility with Kofi.
Right.
Like before it would have to be like Shelton that had to do like all the little high flying moves and putting everything together. Not that he wasn't, like my wife said, awesome, but it was good to see that he didn't have to put all that pressure on himself to make those high spots work and everything.
Kofi was
like
a welcome
that.
addition.
Yeah.
So guys, gals, if you're counting, this marks the 5th annual Money in the Bank ladder match that was announced for this WrestleMania. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then for new smarks like me, the winner, just so you know, receives a contract for a future world championship match anytime within 1 year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So we end up having CM Punk win. He was the first back-to-back winner. If you're wondering why he lost, is pretty much after he won the 2008 Money in the Bank WrestleMania 24, he cashes in on Jeff Hardy, and he ends up losing it because his title reign isn't as popular. And then it just, you know,
they all can't be winners.
No, it would think at that time CM Punk was like a babyface.
Yeah.
And we haven't like embraced Phil as a babyface.
He still is a babyface.
Maybe to you, but it seems that Phil's or CM Punk's natural state of a wrestling character is him being a heel, him being the a-hole, him being that guy that you need to hate.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe that his run after this one, he cashes in this later on Edge.
Okay.
I believe this, or I might have him cross. One he cashes in on Edge, one he cashes in on Jeff Hardy. But he ends up having a more successful title run as a heel after this.
I mean, I can see him heel all day, so that's pretty interesting.
So you recommend that people rewatch this match?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And as for me, my wife has mentioned 5 Money in the Bank ladder matches that have been happening here in WrestleMania since WrestleMania 20, obviously. So as far as the past or the previous 5 that I recommend that you watch, this one would probably rank as the third one, like middle of the pack. It's not the Money in the Bank one to watch. I still believe that it's the first one that happened at WrestleMania
Shelton Benjamin
21.
was in that one, right?
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin was the star of that one. And then they kind of do like 22, takes a break, and I think he either comes back on 24 or 23, but it kind of spikes up again.
Right.
But my favorite, if you're a longtime fan like myself that's been watching these, and you want to go back and watch one, this would probably be maybe so far out of the 5 that I revisited, the middle of the pack one. I would still say rewatch the very first Money in the Bank one.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation. So, like I said, this is a recommended match for me. First one, not the dark match that we didn't have an opportunity to see during this WrestleMania, but I thought that this was pretty solid. Shelton Benjamin has a pretty good senton bomb off a ladder, and like you said, Kofi uses the ladder as like a weapon, which is pretty awesome. So I definitely recommend that you watch this. And who's the winner? None other than
CM Punk.
Yeah, he's victorious.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that other theme song, Victorious. For which wrestler? I'm blanking right now.
That was Bobby Roode. That was one of his words with it was glorious.
Oh, glorious.
But it's victorious is in the words.
Is it?
Yes.
Is that where they're like glorious?
Yeah. I'll be victorious. Yep. Oh, this brings us to a 10-minute interlude of Kid Rock singing randomly. I guess it's not randomly. I guess Vince didn't want to pay, or Vince didn't want the divas to be introduced all at once.
Well,
or
did I talk about the finale of CM Punk winning? Or
did you want to?
I kind of do, just a little bit. Okay. So this is Punk's second consecutive Money in the Bank ladder match victory, which was pretty interesting to me. And so this earns Punk a guaranteed future world championship opportunity. He scales the ladder, he wins. And also, what belt? Is it Big Goldie?
For this one?
Or what is the belt?
That's not a belt. He wins the contract.
Oh, he wins the contract. Sorry about that. So he wins the contract. So that basically wraps it up. I just had a note that CM Punk was victorious at the end of this ladder match, which again, I am a fan, so I was really happy to see. And now we can go to
the 25 women battle royal for the title of Miss WrestleMania, that Kid Rock sings for about 10 or 12 minutes, because I'm assuming that Vince did not want to have the divas be introduced one at a time. So they all show up while Kid Rock is singing, but they're not shown walking to the ring. Eventually, all the divas make their way into the ring, and inside of the ring, we have lots of names you're probably familiar with. We have the Bella twins, Brie and Nikki. We have Mickie James. Yeah. We have Molly Holly. We have Katie Lee Burchill, Victoria, Tori Wilson, Tiffany. We have the return of Sunny. We have Kelly. We have Layla, Maria, making the WrestleMania debut, Maurice, Alicia Fox, Eve Torres, Gail Kim, and Natty. Natalia Hart makes her WrestleMania debut in this, and it's pretty hard to keep track of the action in this one. You really don't get enough time to focus on this match in particular. This match does go for 5 minutes and 57 seconds. So you figure for a 25 women battle royal, you should at least maybe get like 7, maybe 10 minutes.
7 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, but we only got around close to 6 minutes.
We get about 7 minutes and about 20 seconds. I enjoyed this match. Was this a recommended match for you?
No, it is not a recommended match for me.
Well, it's a recommended match for moi. I really enjoyed this match.
That's good. What did you enjoy about it?
It was good to see a lot of favorites like the Bella twins and Natty. I was really excited to see this match. Also, it was a little over the top. We're seeing who's going to win to be crowned Miss WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said this. This is the first ever Miss WrestleMania Battle Royale. I thought it was pretty over the top because we have a character that's introduced, bending the rules, and that is Santina.
Yes, Santina, who is the sister of of wrestler Santino Marella, but we all know that Santino is actually cross dressing here, and that it's not him or it's not his sister. So Santino finds a way to get himself into a WrestleMania using his comedic chops and everything. So, what did you think about? Did you enjoy like the little bit of the humor or
I
whatever
did.
it
I
is?
enjoyed the humor. Early eliminations for this match
Mm-hmm.
were like Jillian Hall, Melina, and we also had the opportunity to see WWE legend Mae Young, who we all know is a favorite of ours. She made a surprise appearance as
Yeah, she was on ringside, I believe, right?
she was a guest timekeeper,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm always pumped to see her. If it's not her getting like suplexed, what by the Big Show, or her in a funny interlude, it's always good to see me young.
Right.
So, like you said, we see Santina Marella enters dressed as twin sister Santina Marella,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought the character was a lot of fun. And it was pretty cool to see her working in the ring, or should I say, barely working in the ring, because she didn't make a lot of moves until the end. So,
Yeah, that's the only thing I really enjoyed about this match is, as my wife pointed out, is a little like, should I get involved? Should I not get involved? Let me help you. That Santino or Santina was doing throughout this match. And there's a lot of wrestlers that kind of have incorporated doing that particular uh not heel or comedic type of trait,
mhm.
but you see that with
Goldust.
no, you don't see it with Goldust. I can't think of her name. Chelsea Green,
Oh,
where she has like that Karen, like kind of me attitude. And during this past Royal Rumble that we had for the women, she was kind of like that, where she's like, I don't want to get involved, but I do want to get involved. Please don't kick me out and things like that.
yeah.
So it
So,
was like, as far as watching this match and recommending it for someone to go back and watch as a newer fan like yourself or as a longtime fan as myself, I don't recommend it.
I
But
do.
if you do have 5 minutes
To
and you
spare.
do want to watch like some particular characteristic that has probably inspired other wrestlers such as Chelsea Green, and actually in NXT right now, his daughter Ariana Grace is kind of doing kind of like a comedic type of thing that's kind of like her father's type of niche,
Mhm.
but she's making it her own. She has a little thing where she's like a beauty queen pageant and she's trying to go out there and trying to teach the women how to be more womanly,
Oh, wow.
but she still has those little kind of traits like her dad. So
Yeah, this one was a lot of fun. Recommend for me, pass for you. And with that, that takes us to match number.
3, Chris Jericho versus the legends of Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Roddy Piper, and Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who in their corner is retired wrestler who probably wanted to be in this match, Ric Flair.
He looked like he wanted to be part of this match.
This match goes for 8 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yep.
Maria, you were a fan of the rowdy one,
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
All three against Jericho. That's fair, right?
Sure, why not?
I thought this match was pretty. Okay, so this is a recommended match for me
Ooh,
with a caveat.
ooh. Okay, go ahead. I want to know what the caveat is.
Okay, so like you said, we have legends in the ring: Jimmy Snuka, Ricky Steamboat, and Roddy Piper, who I am fans of. They are legends. They are wrestling legends.
Mhm.
But it was hard for me to watch Roddy in this match. You know, I
Yeah.
like to see them. Like if they're announcing, if they're like a guest this, you're getting inducted into a Hall of Fame. You have like maybe a fun spot, but this was a little hard for me to watch until the end. When we see Ricky Steamboat do his thing,
Yeah.
and he was still, wait for it, wait for it, he was legendary. So that's why this is a recommended match for me with that caveat. What about you?
Yeah, I totally agree with your like analysis of it. Like seeing this, like we see, let's I got some pictures. So we have this clothesline that's being performed here by Jimmy and the Dragon or Jericho.
Mhm.
As you can see, the dragon here on this picture is to the right and or whichever direction, and Superfly.
Right.
The dragon still looks like he goes. He still can. He's a little bit more fitter than Snuka.
Right.
But unfortunately, Snuka ends up tapping here. But then you get a little bit more of a clearer shot of the dragon's athletic build here, and then Ric Flair. Piper gets in here. He doesn't do much, as my wife mentioned. He ends up getting pinned. He's wearing all black, and I think he's wearing all black for a reason, to appear more slimmer and
That's what I would
fitter.
do. Wait, why am I not wearing black right now? Hold
Right.
on. Let me go get something.
I didn't get too many shots of the dragon in action, but after the dragon loses, yes, Jericho is so ahead of these legends that he ends up beating all three. Ric Flair decides to get involved because Jericho's still attacking the dragon after the match has ended.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets in there and he starts giving Jericho some chops.
Those were awesome chops. So
Mhm.
that was like another favorite. Slappity slap.
And eventually
Don't
Jericho gets control.
Look at that.
And he takes a back body drop. And
Boy, did he take it, because that was a hard body drop.
he took it because Ric Flair is Ric Flair, and he believes that he can still go, even though he just retired the previous year.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting body dropped. I'm laying there for a few
eventually, this match was supposed to have Mickey Rourke as Jericho's actual opponent. But since Mickey Rourke's management team did not want to actually clear him, or felt like it would hurt Mickey Rourke's chances at the Oscar, which, spoiler alert, if you are for some reason not following the award show from 15 years ago, Mickey Rourke did not win for his role in The Wrestler.
That was a hard movie to watch too.
Yeah. But
if you like the movie,
yeah,
and if you like the movie and you're listening or watching right now, post in the comments and tell us what you liked about the movie.
Yeah. If you want us to have Maria rewatch that movie and give her tidbits, because she did not share those at the time with us because we weren't a podcast yet, yeah, let us know. We'll rewatch that movie for you guys and share it. But Mickey Rourke gets involved. He gets called out from the audience. He gets to the stage, or to the ring, excuse me, reluctantly. And he just ends up laying out Jericho. And that's it. And the Legends lost, though.
Yeah. So
I don't recommend this match unless you want to watch like the last 2.5 minutes of it to see Ricky the Dragon go. You can see why, what is this, 13 years later, Ricky still has his final match. And even recently, when I watched the Sting retirement match from AEW, the Dragon still looked like he could still go. So it's interesting. I know he retired and he's like, this is it. I'm no longer going to do anything. And I believe him. But
no
he still
DQs, anywhere goes.
No.
He's ready
No.
to take you out.
In this match particularly, yes. But Ricky Dragon Steamboat from now probably is like, no, I'm done.
I would take a break too. Yeah. But excellent wrestling by him. Definitely a fan of seeing Flair. He looked like he wanted to jump back in there. That was pretty awesome. So that was really cool to see during this match. And so this is not a recommended match for me.
With the caveat of just watch the Ricky the Dragon's part.
And this takes us to match number 4.
Which is brother versus brother. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy in an Extreme Rules match. This match goes for 13 minutes and 16 seconds.
I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, but I'll never say that I'm worse. That's a Hardy quote.
Whose quote is that? Is that Jeff?
That's Jeff.
Oh, man.
There's a big difference between the quotes between Jeff and Matt. Matt's were a little.
Matt is, I think, if I've never, like,
There's like
if I was to, like, get an
sunshine
attitude,
and
yeah.
rainstorm. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, you see, like, Jeff comes out and he has all this makeup and everything like this. Here, let's give a picture.
And different personas for sure.
Brother Nero, Matt over here, and then Jeff Hardy.
Matt is on the right.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy on the left.
Yeah, this guy for Jeff Hardy does have some demons. One of them is a lot of drugs, in case there are kids watching, and lots of substances. In other words, and
well, it's interesting that you say that because just in this year, and we're going to talk about this and get into it a little bit. So in this year, we see him have this huge push in 2009. We're talking about Jeff. And then with his personal issues, we see a slip in his performance, and he's eventually released the same year in 2009, which is pretty tragic.
I think it comes after, like, he gets arrested. And I think he gets arrested with drugs in his vehicle, and it's a lot amount of drugs. And I think it's, like, considered trafficking at that point.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, Vince didn't want anything to do with that, so...
Wow.
It could be this year, or it could be thinking of another year, but he does eventually get caught like that.
So I'm wondering, so coming into this match, I had super high expectations because we've seen these guys in ladder matches before and they always wreck it. So what did you think?
I thought when I first saw this match, I thought I really didn't care. I'm not a Matt Hardy fan, and I'm not a Jeff Hardy fan.
I was excited.
I know you were excited, but now in contrast, like, we've watched a lot of WrestleManias up to this point.
Yes.
24. So I was hoping that this would be like Owen versus Brett from WrestleMania 10, where they gave us, like, a very good match, and we got, like, the little brother beating the younger brother, the little brother.
I know. I was thinking of Owen Wilson right now. Oh. We just saw that movie, and that's why.
Okay. But this match kind of lived up to it, except for we did not get the younger brother beating the older brother.
No.
We actually had Matt retaining here, and we'll go through a couple of the spots that we like.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned that you were like, look, he's cleaning. He's cleaning house.
He's cleaning house. He gets hit with a giant vacuum.
Yeah. So Matt goes ahead and finds that. I don't know where you would use that in the ring, but
around the carpet.
We have Jeff Hardy with no regard for his life.
A wet bag.
They set up
blood and
two tables. As one table, Jeff going through one table was enough. He decides to set up another table on top of his brother Matt. And he lands through that table to get to Matt. The other table does not collapse. Wow. So that was one of my other favorite spots.
The sandwich.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a part of, though, because that shit looks like it hurts.
What about you? What did you think about this? Anything that sticks out for you?
Well, like I said, I was really looking forward to watching this. I had high expectations, high hopes for this match, but it was kind of a letdown for me.
Okay.
For a WrestleMania match, it just didn't hit the mark for me. We see Jeff hit a twist of fate, but he couldn't get the pin. And this is a no DQs match. We had some excellent spots, but I can't say that it was a recommended match for me.
I actually will say that I recommend this match. This is one of the fewer matches that I feel like do actually have these guys shine. And, like, it ends in the most brutal way, I think. So we have Jeff misses a leg drop from this ladder that he sets up a higher ladder next to and he decides to jump over that ladder to give himself a leg drop on Matt. Matt moves. He decides to get a chair. He puts Jeff's head through that opening of the chair that you see there, and then performs a twist of fate there and gets the pin and the win. So Big Brother beats his little brother at WrestleMania.
So this is over 20 minutes of carnage. Definitely a recommended match for you. Surprisingly, a pass for me. Do you have any additional tidbits about this?
No, it's just the psychology of it all. Like Matt had just come back and he had screwed his brother out of out of winning the championship against Edge at the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So this feud had been going for a while, and this was the right particular match that you would need to kind of end the feud, where
Oh.
they've grown up with each other, they know each other's moves, they
Mm-hmm.
know what makes each other tick, quote unquote. And what else are you gonna do besides having like a steel cage match or like Hell in a Cell match or anything like that?
Right.
And these brothers were deemed to be the kings of extreme along with Edge and Christian.
And they are. Mm-hmm.
So why not just put them in something that they can actually deliver something in a arena that's familiar to them, having ladders, garbage cans, wetbacks, Singapore canes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a fun match. So as far as if you had never seen, if you're a new fan like Maria, where you haven't seen anything of the Hardys before, and for some reason people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch WrestleMania 25," and you're like, "Well, how about you watch Matt versus Jeff?"
Well, yeah, I would say in that case, then watch this.
Mhm.
This is a pretty good match.
Mhm.
Pretty good representation of them as well.
Yeah, and if you're like a
Mm-hmm.
longtime fan, this is a match that it kind of showed where that Matt and Jeff can actually work on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they were like in 4 ways, 3 ways, and not a lot of time where they got one-on-one matches where um, Matt was getting the singles run or Jeff at this point was getting a singles run. And we saw that with Brett and Owen back in the days where Brett was the main guy, like Jeff, that was getting pushed, and Matt is like kind of like the Owen guy.
You're kind
So I
of.
guess you could say that even though like the roles are reversed as far as age wise, it ended up having like the same guy win
You have
because
some
Owen
really
wins in
good points.
WrestleMania 10, and then
Mm-hmm.
Matt kind of is like the Owen, and he ends up winning. So
Wow, you're kind of turning me into with all these good points. So you're kind of making me move towards having this be a recommended match.
alright.
Oh,
So I guess with this one we can move on.
okay.
This one we'll get to. I guess it's not a WrestleMania unless you have a squash match. And we got it here. We have JBL versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship.
Hey, wait. I'm not booked by height. I'm booked by fight. Just so you know, guys and gals.
You are a shorty. But I'm assuming you're referring to Rey Mysterio, who wins this match in 22 seconds. He is the new Intercontinental Champion. He came out with Heath Ledger homage style Joker mask.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think of this match?
I thought it was short. At 21 seconds. Again, don't blink. It might be over. I'm surprised you're not talking about JBL.
I think at this point, this JBL like has just gone downhill.
Oh.
I don't know. Like I was a fan of him. I think it was WrestleMania 19 or 18 when I had recommended him
I think it was
in a
like his
match.
first match.
Yeah.
But I will say, so like Master of the 619, we get a surprise 619 kick to JBL's head immediately, followed by a West Coast pop for the pin. So for the 21 seconds while Ray was out there, he puts in the work.
Yeah.
Quick match, watch it. Can I say it's a recommended match at 21 seconds? No. But he does, of course, impress us with those awesome moves. So that's what I have to say about that. Well, what about you?
Pretty much the same thing. And then we have JBL announcing his retirement at this one. So Texas native, maybe perhaps was feeling that he should just retire at home. And you normally, back in those days, we used to just have the wrestlers. They knew they had to lose on the way out to put over newer talent.
Right.
So this is pretty much what was going in line.
Hmm.
I don't have any problems with it. Like, if he was gonna retire, you can't have him win and then you vacate the belt. Why not just give it to someone that he is a former world heavyweight champion? It wasn't that long ago that Rey Mysterio had just won that belt against JBL.
Mm. So with that exciting 21 seconds takes us to match number 6.
Yeah, the streak. Undertaker versus HBK. The streak versus Mr. WrestleMania.
I will say this is a match I didn't know that I needed. This is a recommended match for me. I thought it was pretty awesome.
Right off the bat, huh? We're just gonna be like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and recommend this match. I mean, I like it. This match goes for 30 minutes and 44 seconds. So give me
The introductions alone were so impressive. We did not have chanting druids, but it was still pretty cool. I like the contrast of Undertaker's like dark clothing and his persona. And then you have Shawn Michaels dressed in white, looking super cool. I love everything about this match, the intro, the wrestling. What about you?
Yeah, let's take a look here. We have this where Shawn Michaels is descending from the heavens, all dressed in white. He has like that trench, that 3/4 trench, like the Undertaker would be wearing.
Too bad they didn't have him ascend back.
No, and he has a hat just like the Undertaker would have. So that was a pretty good intro.
Yes.
We started getting like more of those coil kind of. Did you hear the sounds or like the lightning? It was like more like an electric sound, like a Tesla coil would make. This is still not the one that I remember. I'm hoping that it is a WrestleMania because I've been talking about this one Undertaker one.
What if we don't?
I'll have to find it.
You've been talking about chanting druids for like
there's
5
one.
or 6 WrestleManias.
Yeah, if you guys in the comments remember this particular entrance that the Undertaker has, where he has the druids and the Tesla coil lightning being made, let me know which one it is. Link it.
This could be like when I had that dream about Professor X and being in a multiverse. So, is it one of those?
We'll find out. Hopefully,
we'll find out one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, was there anything in particular that you liked about this match?
I like the wrestling. We get sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels, which is expected, but still awesome. And, we get an Are You Kidding Me from Shawn, which is pretty cool. And it just gets even more intense. I thought the wrestling was pretty epic.
Yeah, it's a contrast from last year when you had the whole thing where Shawn Michaels told Ric Flair, he's like, "I'm sorry, I love you."
Yeah.
We got the "Are you kidding me?"
Yes.
So that was fun to see. Yeah. In particular, this match, it does a lot of great things. As far as like story wise, you have people who have been facing each other for as long as they were in the company.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels had not lost to the Undertaker at any of the matches that they faced each other. And they had never faced each other at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it was something different. The Streak versus Mr. WrestleMania, who, if Arpad, our friend, guest, and friend of the pod, is watching or is always commenting always to us that for us, or when we refer to Shawn as Mr. WrestleMania, his quote is, "If he's Mr. WrestleMania, why does he lose so much?" And my reply is always, Shawn loses so much because he's that great.
He's always putting people over.
And he's putting people over. And even though he's losing at WrestleMania, he's Mr. WrestleMania because he brings the show.
He brings it.
So he does a great job in giving The Undertaker one of my favorite matches besides the Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels one from last year. But he gives The Undertaker one of his greatest matches at a WrestleMania. We just seen one. Was it the Batista one?
I think so.
Yeah, we had recommended, and now we have another one that we could recommend from The Undertaker. So this match had a lot of near fall pins. a lot of false finishes, and it created that anticipation from the crowd that you're like, is this it? He hit him with sweet chin music for like the second time. He hit him out of nowhere. Oh, why can't Shawn like crawl over there and get the pin? If you were a Shawn Michaels fan, as myself back then and now, if you were to ask me who I was rooting for, it's still HBK, and
HBK.
who I'm rooting for now is still HBK. Even though I know that
You know who's gonna win.
yeah, I know who's gonna win and what happens forward
Yeah.
for the next WrestleMania.
Undertaker gives Shawn Michaels a pretty awesome choke slam.
Hmm.
We also get a tombstone pile driver. Again, we've seen these moves before, but pretty cool. And like you said, we think HBK still manages to kick out. It was a
They
really
had
good
the
match.
audience on the edge of their seat, and in particular this spot here where the Undertaker tries to do his tope suicide dive. Shawn is dragging the cameraman to get into the spot, but he has a very bad landing on here. He doesn't land on his head. It does appear in some of the replays that he does,
Like he tucked.
but I think he tucks himself and he kind of lands on his shoulder
We had to watch it
blades.
a few times. It looked
So I think
rough.
that's the only reason that the Undertaker is actually able to continue. Now, normally, like you would be like, why is Shawn putting this random cameraman in the way?
Mhm.
Well, he's not just a regular normal cameraman. He is actually somebody that was contracted on the roster as talent.
Oh, okay.
He is Jimmy Superfly Snuka's son.
What?
So it turns out that even though Shawn put him in the spot and he's supposed to catch the Undertaker, he
Mhm.
was still off by about a foot.
Oh, wow.
And this, I'm not sure if this particular action is what results in him getting fired, because he does get fired like a month later.
No way.
Yeah, but I mean, he almost costed the Undertaker. Him and Shawn take about 4 months off on after this particular match. They don't return until SummerSlam. But eventually, Undertaker does end up getting the pin and the win, and he ends up tombstoning Shawn,
Yes, he does.
and the streak continues.
17 and
0.
Yep. 17 and 0.
So it's a recommended match for both of us. Whether you're a new fan to wrestling, as my wife,
Yeah.
or if you're a seasoned veteran of watching the world of sports entertainment, and you want to introduce your friend, your loved one,
Your loved ones. Your
you-
hated ones.
your hated one. No, you don't want your hated one. You recommend the 25 women battle royal for your hated one. But if you want to try to make someone a fan of wrestling,
You recommend the Big Show versus Mayweather to your hated ones.
yeah, recommend that they go out and watch this match.
You recommend the Big Show doing sumo to your hated ones, but to your loved ones, you recommend this match because it was excellent.
Yeah. With this, we move on to, I believe, if I remember correctly, because I didn't put it in my notes for some reason, but we get the Hall of Fame inductees announced. We get the Funks, Terry
Woo.
and Dory Funk. You might remember them you might remember Terry a little bit more. Terry was in WrestleMania 2, and he appears
I'm a
in
fan.
WrestleMania 14.
Don't fake the funk.
But Dory, we only got to see once at a WrestleMania card, and that was at WrestleMania 2. We have longtime ring announcer, the Fink, Howard Finkel. Oh, and that reminds me,
What?
with this particular WrestleMania one,
Mhm.
we had a new ring announcer.
Who was it?
He is a local man named Justin Roberts.
When you say local, to Chicago or Houston?
No.
Houston.
He's local to the Chicago area.
Oh, okay.
So he is.
What's his name again?
Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts.
Mm-hmm. So he is. He was with the company for a very long time. Believe now that they got the newest wrestling game, WWE 2K24.
Yeah.
That he is the voice that they have doing the ring announcing.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, he was there with the company from 2002 to 2014.
Wow.
But it was mainly Lillian that was like kind of doing the main ring announcing.
Mm-hmm.
and the Fink would come in when they would introduce like the Hall of Fame class.
Mhm.
So yeah, so
Can we
he
also talk about? I think it's pretty interesting that they had Kevin Von Erich as well.
yeah. Well, let's get to him. We have not only Kevin gets enshrined, but we also have the whole Von Erich family. Fritz gets inducted.
Mhm.
Uh, Carrie, obviously Kevin. Uh, was it the
So
other
he's inducted
ones?
on behalf
Yeah,
of his brothers
yeah, they got them all in there. Even the little one that ends up passing away, the run to the litter. Uh,
and their baby brother.
yeah, so they got everybody. So we got Kevin Von Erich. We have Cowboy Bill Watts. If you were a fan of Mid South Wrestling, and then we got a quick change from the Dragon. The Dragon takes a shower and gets in his formal attire.
We cannot confirm.
And in time, oh, if he took a shower, I would assume so.
We're assuming.
Yeah, he had enough time. Like the Undertaker was a half-hour match, and the Jeff Hardy match, so he at least had 45 minutes.
But also, who do we have?
We have the main attraction. If you were not excited by the Von Erichs, then we have Stone Cold. He is over here, and he is inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and he just goes out there, as you can see there, and has like a beer celebration for like at least 20 minutes after he goes out there with his ATV.
I did feel like about 20 minutes. I'm not mad at it, but it happened for a while. So cheers to him and being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And with that one, we have
match 7.
Yeah, match 7, which is a triple threat match. The Big Show versus John Cena versus the World Heavyweight Champion at the time, Edge. This is for the Big Goldie Championship.
Oh, yes.
This match, go ahead.
Oh, no, it goes for 14 minutes and 33 seconds. And then let me tell you, what's better than one John Cena? Lots of John Cenas. This is one of my favorite introductions to John Cena during a wrestling match.
Okay.
Was seeing many, many, many John Cenas.
Yeah, they were all shapes and sizes. There were tall ones, skinny ones, fat ones.
Was it Eminem when they have the lots of shadies?
The Slim Shadies.
But better because it's John Cena.
Yeah, so. What did you think about this match?
It's definitely a recommended match for me. Ooh. I love everything about this match, except for the weird storyline. So with Vicky, that's a little like a lot for me, but the wrestling is pretty awesome. What about you?
Yeah, that's the thing that I never understood. Never understood why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like why they had to. Like you could get Vicky involved as far as being like a general manager or a face of a authority figure type of thing. But it didn't have to be in this way where she had to be in love with Edge and she had to be in love with the Big Show after she got quote unquote married to Edge to have this extramarital affair.
Just a weird storyline.
Yeah, looking back at it now, I still have those thoughts because that was the only thing I didn't like. I do like Vicky as a person, even though I never met her, but it's, seems like she's a very good person and she's just going out there and like Vince or whomever decided to give her the contract so she had some way to keep earning and keeping her family fed and everything like that. But could we have done something better? I hope so.
Yeah, we could have. So why is this a recommended match for me? Yeah. I love all the big punches and hits.
Yeah. Did you in particular like when the Big Show got tangled up like this?
Yes.
And then we got the You Can't See Me 5-knuckle shuffle from here.
Sorry, cough, but that was so sorry. The Big Show is such a force of nature He was just wrecking these guys, just like grabbing them, lifting them, power throwing them. This match is so good. You have to watch it if you haven't, or rewatch it if it's been a while.
Okay. Like with this one, I like that we have gotten away from having like the Big Show not be like a menacing threat. We had him do this one off, like, yeah, he probably was kind of like menacing, but did we really think, like, even looking back at it now, we all know that wrestling is an entertainment. It's there to kind of have us guess now, like for us marks, like where can the story go, how would you progress it. It's kind of like doing like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where you're like where your character evolves and things like that. But if you're bringing in someone like the caliber of Floyd Mayweather, did we really think that the Big Show would actually beat Floyd Mayweather or actually cause any harm to him? We wanted him to,
Vice
but
versa.
no.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that the Big Show was actually able to get like some type of, I would want to say this is like a reward, but he got like a bigger bigger showing.
Right.
Not, no pun intended, but he got to be higher up in the card still, but he didn't have to do anything that kind of made him look weak. He still made him look, because it took like the superhuman strength, I guess you could say. This is when Super Cena is Super Cena.
Well, I mean, he lifts up the
Yeah,
Big Show.
and he lifts up the Big Show. Initially starts with the Big Show and Edge, because Edge has like a sleeper hold on him. But he's got the Big Show up there, and he does the attitude adjustment, because it's no longer called the FU. We have actually officially entered the PG era.
Oh.
So this move gets called the attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
So after this finish, where the Big Show takes an attitude adjustment, Edge also gets an attitude adjustment
right on top of the Big Show, which is a really awesome spot.
He ends up rolling out of the ring, and then pinning the win goes to John Cena. He is the new world's heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah, I mean, good spots also. Big Show choke slams John Cena. The strength that he has is really cool. Like, he's strong, and just lifting these guys that are like, I don't want to say heavyweight, but they're pretty stocky. So he's just lifting, tossing them, and you got to watch it. It's just really good.
Yeah, as a new fan, recommend that people go out and watch this.
I do.
As far as myself, like if you're a longtime fan, I cannot recommend that you, if you're a longtime fan of watching wrestling like myself, to actually go out and watch this.
What? You don't recommend that people watch this? This has to be like one of my favorite matches that I didn't know I needed to see, with Big Show, Cena, and Edge. We just saw in a commercial, didn't we?
Edge? No, we saw him in that Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series on Disney Plus,
which we just started watching. So
yeah, we're all halfway done. If you guys want us to go ahead and give our review of that, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we'll see when we get around to it for you guys. But as a longtime fan, I would not recommend that you watch this. But if you're a newer fan, like my wife, newer fans, if you want to introduce them, this would probably be another good way of introducing them. We already talked about John Cena and his marketability to, like, he transcended just like The Rock from sports entertainment to movies. He was in those was it the Cock Blockers movie with where he's playing John Cena plays a father, and there's these four he's in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer.
That's also
he's in that Peacemaker,
That's
not
really
only
good.
The movie of the Suicide Squad, but his own TV show. And then he has this movie that I'm kind of interested. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
No, which one is that?
I forget. It's on Amazon Prime. I think it's Shmendi or Shmandi or whatever. Like, these group of friends make up a guy, like a friend that they have, is a premise. And anytime they want to get out of something, they use this guy. Oh no. And then eventually someone wants to meet that person.
Yes.
So they hire John Cena because he's an actor for hire.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in it.
So
When did it come
I
out?
think it's on Prime now.
Oh, like it just got recently
Yeah, if
released.
it's not in the movie theaters, it's gonna be coming out. But
My favorite representation of John Cena in anything is Peacemaker, though. So I can't wait. And are they coming out with the what is
yeah,
it?
I'm
Their
not sure when season 2's coming, but
season
that
two?
yeah.
Okay.
So that's one person like that. Any normal person that you want to make a fan of sports entertainment would know.
Am I a
And
normal
then you have
person?
Edge. Edge is now coming into doing some shows.
Actor Edge.
He first started his career, I think, in the Highlander movie. There was a Highlander. If you're a fan of that, there could only be one. The immortal people who are always fighting.
Hmm.
I believe that was Endgame he was in, and then he was in Vikings. I think like that
I can
thing
see
that they
that.
had in the History Channel or one of those.
Edge, also known as Edge.
No, Adam Copeland, his government name, and who's now wrestling for AEW. And then he is now on Percy Jackson and the Olympians as Ares.
Which he looks pretty cool as Ares. God of War, here for that.
Mm-hmm.
So with
So
also, hey, finally the Big Show gets a good WrestleMania match. So I'm happy for him.
I think, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the second match with John Cena. It's not a one-on-one match,
Yep.
but yeah, and also the Big Show. You probably would have someone that if they watch movies, the Big Show was in a movie. He was Captain Insano. If you've ever watched
What?
The Water Boy, when the Water Boy calls up
Oh.
Captain Insano, and he's like, "I love you, kid. What's your name?" And then he tells him his age. Yeah,
Why?
Captain Insano. So
Oh, okay. So with that, that takes us to
the main event.
okay. So if you're a guest in the audience, and I'm curious for all of you listening, watching, after these last two pretty awesome matches, the crowd, the audience, like they were a balloon with air let out of them. They were too excited about this match.
Yeah,
Were you like the audience and not that excited about this match, or
like looking at it now, I'm not excited to watch this match. Like seeing how Triple H is the face,
Mhm.
and for some reason Randy Orton had to be the heel in this one. It's kind of like a flip flopping type of deal where there was a feud once where Triple H was the heel and Randy was the face because Randy had just won the title from I believe it was John Cena,
okay?
like maybe 4 or 5 years ago in this timeline. And when Randy was part of Evolution, and that's when they kicked him out of Evolution.
Mhm.
So that's when Randy was the face. So this is a feud that we've been having off and on. Anytime one of these guys has been the champion, this time Randy Orton is taking it a little bit to the extreme. Not only has he punt kicked Vince and Shane, but he also has RKO'd Stephanie and the draping rope DDT to Stephanie
Oh, the
while Hunt.
kayfabe.
Yeah, so it it's a weird
It's a
it's weird
boring
booking.
storyline.
It's tough to like
Exciting for some, I'm sure.
yeah, but if you're like a smart mark when you're thinking about this, it's hard to root for Hunter. It's as a face. It's weird because it's like we've seen him but how can you like root for someone who in real life has everything going? He
Mm.
married and is now, if we seen, becomes the heir apparent to run WWE. Uh, he's got Stephanie as his wife.
Mhm.
He's pretty much set for life,
Right.
unless something else happens during that scandal that Vince has got everybody in trouble with.
Oh,
But how can you like root for him? This is a guy who has everything, so
I'm
it's
rooting for Randy.
I mean, you're rooting for Randy,
I'm
and
always
that's
rooting
what
for
everyone was
Randy.
going for.
I was hoping he was gonna win. I was pretty disappointed that Hunter won this match.
Yeah, and Hunter ends up winning. He's the face. We always have to send the crowd happy.
So
But what I did like was the way this match started.
okay.
So while they were tangled up, we had an RKO just to start the match.
Right.
it looks like maybe these guys knew
It was like a
that
gentle RKO though.
it was, but it looked like these guys knew that they needed to get the audience's attention right away.
Hmm.
So not only did we get an RKO, but we got a pedigree also as soon as that happens.
Right.
And the crowd did not react to anything.
Yeah.
They were,
We had a few like woos,
yeah, but
but
no.
mm-mm.
So you already knew that they were going to be in for a tough night. And unfortunately, this match goes for 23 minutes and 35 seconds.
23 minutes. It's a long time.
Yeah, this is probably when you probably would have wanted Kid Rock to go back out there and be like, hey, kill like 10 or 15 minutes so we can have
Randomly play.
like a 12,
This is when
13
you
minute
want
match.
Saliva to pop out, and you're like, "What? Who is that? Saliva?
Who?
The band?
Yeah,
That group?"
So the nothing else sticks out to me besides that one. There was a stipulation where Triple H could not be disqualified or counted out, or else he would forfeit the title right away.
There's some good spots, but is it a recommended match for me? No, pass.
Yeah, and it's not a recommended match for me as a longtime fan. I don't remember like being excited for this match to begin with when I watched it at first in 2009, and even now I'm like, no, it's not. It's not something that like you would think would have audiences be like, yes, I want to watch this. This is one of I think maybe the third or fourth WrestleMania where I think they booked the wrong match in the actual main event.
But if you thought this should have been a main event, let us know because I'd be curious.
Yeah, if you think that I'm completely wrong or Maria's completely wrong,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Let us know. Write it in the comments. Let us know why you feel like this match is a match that you should recommend to a friend who has not watched wrestling ever before in this life,
Or
and you're
your
like,
enemy, and you're like, watch a sporting match for 20 minutes.
yeah.
So with that, we get a couple of good spots. Let's see. Did you show the Hunter?
No, we got the back body drop. Hunter tries to give the pedigree to not to Edge, excuse me, to Randy on top of the English announce table, but Randy gets out of it. He does a back body drop onto the Spanish announce table, and the table doesn't break. But mostly, there's like a ref bump, and Hunter kind of wins like in a heelish kind of way because he doesn't get caught. He uses the sledgehammer that Randy introduces in here.
Yeah.
After he gets that done, he gives him a pedigree.
The hammer was bigger, like Thor's hammer.
You want him to have a Mjolnir?
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mjolnir?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so after this, Hunter gives him a pedigree, and then after he doesn't go for the pin, he starts grabbing Randy's head and keeps punching him. The ref's about to disqualify Hunter, and then he eventually goes for the pin randomly, and then Hunter wins.
He wins, and Randy's right. There's a few things that he needs to take care of, starting off by ridding himself of this virus known as Triple H. And he does in the next WrestleMania, because remember, folks, it's not a promise, it's a fact. I will be draped in gold again.
That's a good quote,
right? That's a good one.
Oh, with this one here, let's go ahead and wrap up what matches we recommend. And
here we go.
Go ahead.
Ready for the ride?
Yeah. So as for me, as a longtime fan, if we're going to be introducing people to WrestleMania and you're choosing WrestleMania 25 for the first time, I recommend the Money in the Bank ladder match between CM Punk, Fit Finlay, Kane, Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin.
Same.
For the high spots, fast action, and it's just like lots of carnage, I guess you can say, in good spots that happen there that will keep their attention for the amount of time that it goes on for.
Where we differ is match 2. I recommend the Santina Morello won by eliminating Beth Phoenix match, clocking in for the Miss WrestleMania title, 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Thought it was fun. Watch it.
I recommend that you should also watch the Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy match, because it kind of reminds me of the WrestleMania 10 match between Bret and Owen Hart, where it pinned two brothers, one brother that's more successful than the other. And eventually the brother who needed the rub, who needed to get momentum, who needed to get his singles career popping wins, just like that match happened. What was that, 15 years ago from this WrestleMania 25?
Pop, lock, and drop in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also like the end of match 3. Chris Jericho defeated Jimmy Snuka, Ricky Steamboat, and Roddy Piper with Ric Flair. Woo!
Yeah.
Watch the end of that one. Pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I recommend that people go and watch one of the Undertaker's great matches that he has with Mr. WrestleMania, the Streak versus Mr. WrestleMania, HBK. It's a good match that shows that a big man can actually work with a little man and make magic happen.
That is also a recommended match for me. In 30 minutes, you won't be bored. It's a good one. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't have anything else to recommend. So
that's it.
Yeah, I think you say you're gonna recommend the 3.
Yes. Match 7, John Cena defeated Big Show and Edge with Vicky Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero by pinfall. So that was another recommended match for me as well. I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any tidbits for Raw or SmackDown or anything that you want to go over?
Do you have any items?
No. I got to watch Raw and SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything else that I can actually add on to it. It kind of seems like we're still kind of like in a holding pattern as far as everything shaking out. We're about maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We still got another month to go as far as WrestleMania goes.
Mm-hmm.
But the main event for WrestleMania 1 was confirmed last night. It is going to be a tag match of The Rock and Roman Reigns versus the American Nightmare and Seth Rollins.
We're going to see it live.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of things that need to shake out here. Like Bailey still doesn't have any type of backup. Who's going to be the backup that we have for her to go and help her against Damage Control? We got a little glimpse that it could be Bianca, but it might not be Bianca. Naomi maybe will probably be one of them. So either going to be Bianca and Naomi, or maybe we'll get Naomi and maybe they'll throw in Jade Cargill. Who knows? And then we still have the Intercontinental Championship. They're going to have a match that you actually suggested that they should actually have.
What?
The gauntlet match, where you just have two guys facing off. Whoever wins, another guy comes running and the match continues. So it's kind of like an elimination style.
You're welcome, everybody. No.
You had never seen a gauntlet match. And when you described it to me, you're like, why don't they have a match where some guy loses or whoever loses is eliminated and then some other guy comes in, like a never-ending match? And I was like, that's called a gauntlet match. And now we're having a gauntlet match happening on Monday Night Raw.
Wow.
So good call on you.
Only the strongest will survive.
Yeah.
Or the one with the most endurance, I suppose.
And if there isn't anything else, please remember to like, comment, share this video with fellow wrestling fans, heels, baby faces, rudos, toxicas, whoever you want them watch this retrospective of us recommending WrestleMania matches to either longtime fans or fans that you want, or people that you want to become fans.
Yeah.
This audio, in case you don't want to recommend the video, but you want to recommend the audio will be up on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, and Spreaker, or wherever you listen to. Wherever
you can listen to us, like our friends. What countries?
I think the latest one we seen was in the UK and India.
Thanks UK. Thanks India.
So yeah, wherever you listen to podcasts, if it isn't there, let me know. Write us an email, revisitingmania@gmail.com, or leave us a comment.
Don't send us a chain letter.
Yeah. I mean, because then they'll be like, how did you get our address to begin with?
Oh, shit. That's true.
So subscribe to our channel for more revisiting content as we dive into other iconic moments, pay-per-views, and legendary matches from the world of professional wrestling. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week, Sunday, March 17th.
Yeah.
for
Yes.
WrestleMania 26, well, we have a guest.
Surprise.
Yeah. So
Guest.
thank you all for joining, and we'll see you later.